By the way, hit the like, share the show. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Now, if I may, this is Greg Kelly's favorite fapping picture right now. Great Chiron. I mean, I think it's just fill in your own Chiron at this point. Greg Kelly, Trump's life is at risk and the feds won't protect him. He is alive, you know, and the feds, and what do you mean the feds? The federal government, House Republicans who are in charge of a lot of that funding, the FBI who are not in charge of they're in charge of investigating after the fact on a crime, but they're not in the thought police business, right? Also, what the fuck is this guy looking at? It's like, are we getting the shot? Excellent. How's my hair look? All right. Now, this is Greg, and look, I don't know why, but ladies and gentlemen, Greg is more upset about this than Trump is, than the Secret Service is, okay? Or, you don't even understand. I don't know why, but okay.
Strong possibility.
Trump is so strong, even though his hand looks very small and his arm looks very skinny, and he does this weird thing where he leads with his wrist, but that's his mean thing, okay? He's strong. We are weak, but he is strong.
Attempt on President Trump's life in Butler, Pennsylvania, and what happened in West Palm Beach at that golf course.
Oh, that dump he bought that sucks, that's downwind from the fucking airport, and if you golf there, all you hear are landing jets, like big commercial jumbo jets landing all the time and taking off. It's very peaceful. Next to the strip club and the gun club and the jail. You mean that club, that golf course?
Driven, planned, plotted, executed by Iran. That has been
yeah, Iran picked Ruth, whatever his name was. They're like, okay, this guy will get the job done.
Made abundantly clear by the government. They have told everybody.
They've told everybody.
We're following breaking news. 3 U.S. officials have confirmed with NBC News intelligence about an Iranian plot to assassinate former President Donald Trump.
U.S. intelligence.
Yeah, you do realize that the existence of this plot that's alleged is not directly tied with this Wayne Allen, Wayne Root dude or whatever the fuck. You do realize they coexist in the same, Earth 422, but they're not related. Iran did not hire this dipshit to eat snacks laying on his backpack behind some fucking like ceramic tile and try to shoot at Trump with a rusty gun. And if they did, I guess, I don't know what the fuck. Why are we worried about Iranian nukes if this is their idea of an assassin? You know what I mean? I have a feeling they'll have Iranian nukes would be very Wile E. Coyote, if you know what I mean.
Officials detected an Iranian plot against former President Donald Trump.
An ongoing threat by Iran against a number of senior officials, including former government officials like President Trump.
U.S. government.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was under the impression from Greg Kelly and the previous clips that it was just Trump. So they just so the Iranians want to kill a bunch of people? Cool.
Received intelligence.
I mean, not cool, but cool to know. Thanks for the heads up.
From a human source that indicated that the Iranians were plotting to try to kill former President Donald Trump.
See Tony Blinken in there? Former President Trump. All right. So it's been established.
Yeah, yes, I saw him in there doing his job.
We know they're after Trump. President Trump has been briefed.
They're also after other people, too. Were those people briefed?
They actually gave him a brief on this.
Yes, I could tell from the graphic. By the way, I can also tell that your coupon on Fiverr has run out.
There is an Iranian assassination.
Can I at least talk you guys into trying Grok on Twitter, or I don't know, maybe using Canva? This looks like shit.
plot underway to get Trump. So what do
Get Trump what? I mean, what do you get for the guy who has every VD?
we do? What else do we do besides tell everybody?
God, that's a good question, Greg. What do we do besides tell everybody? Could go tell it on the mountain. Now we've already told everybody, so it's kind of redundant. What do we do? You tell everybody. We could write it down in case anybody forgets. I know, Greg, like all your great ideas, write it in crayon, put it on the fridge. Yeah, but don't use the good magnets.
If you're the president of the United States, you make jokes about killing Trump.
Oh, this is the bug, the annoying bug thing.
I always felt you were going to probably do 4 years and then try to figure out where to go with Kamala. Then he just wouldn't go. He was like a bug. He just kept being there. He was like a bug right there. Zzz. So you felt...
Big laugh.
Yeah, you do realize the Leica part, the allegory and stuff. Now, granted, I understand why Greg is taking this personally because, you know, obviously Biden is slapping something very, very small, which could be Trump's hands or his penis. And that's why Greg would get upset about it. I get it. I get it.
Swatting the fly, killing the fly, putting him in jail.
Yes, that's what we do with flies. Yeah. Instead of, help me, the fly goes, lawyer.
Well, what else would we expect from Joe? Maybe.
Well, I don't know. The stock market to hit 45K by the time the election comes around?
Presidential leadership. Let's face it, America is not in a good place right now, right?
No, it's not. We got a picture of a drag queen being nice to a kid. That's terrible. Okay, what's happening here? Someone's yelling at a police officer. We're not quite sure about what. Is that a Jan 6? Is that a Jan 6 shot right there? I mean, I can't tell from the... Oh, somebody's smashing a window. Okay. These are all... You do realize these are from 2020, right? Also, I don't know what these folks are doing. Someone... I don't know if somebody's pouring... Are those Twizzlers? What are they pouring out of there? And then, of course, these people are, I guess, Muslims protesting on behalf of Palestine. That's by the way, taking up a huge chunk of this picture. I'm just saying, none of which is dangerous in any way.
We have one backwards, upside down country we're living in.
Great. Thank you, Greg. One backwards, upside down country that we're living in. But since in space there is no up, how would we know? I mean, honestly, I think I live in the northern hemisphere, but isn't it only because we called it that? Maybe this is the southern hemisphere, and the Earth is upside down. Made you dizzy, didn't I?
30 years ago, we were in a better place. I may not have been thrilled with...
30 years ago. Aren't you supposed to be doing 4? Oh, you can't because, you know, COVID and George Floyd riots and shit like that. Gotcha. Sorry, 30 years ago?
Bill Clinton. But, you know, when somebody threatened a former president of the United States, you kind of threatened America. That actually happened in 1993. George H.W. Bush was the subject of an Iraqi assassination plot.
Wow, they were clearly looking to the future, weren't they?
Here's what we did.
Just about 6 hours ago, U.S. forces launched Tomahawk missiles against an Iraqi intelligence site in Baghdad. President Clinton ordered the strike after there was what he called compelling evidence Saddam was behind a plot to kill former President Bush. Mr. Bush visited Kuwait in April to accept an honor for his role in leading coalition forces in the Gulf War. President Clinton's message to Saddam, you will not go unpunished.
Wow. President Clinton. He just beat him in an election a couple of months earlier. There might have been.
Yeah, but also, I don't know if you know this, but George Herbert Walker Bush showed up at the inauguration and didn't try to lead granted, a failed insurrection at the Capitol at the same time. You know what I mean? And it's not like you shouldn't protect Trump's life. He's fine. But also, what's the plan here? We're supposed to bomb Main Street in Iran because the leadership or the Republican Guard is, I guess, has some sort of plot that they want to kill Trump. So we should kill a bunch of citizens there? Brilliant.
Been real friction between the two.
Yeah, but I mean, old school friction, you know? I have different political ideas than you kind of friction, not I tried to send a mob to hang my vice president because he wouldn't help me steal the election from you kind of friction.
That's leadership. Bill Clinton has his faults, had his faults, of course.
Oh, his faults are gone? Well, that's nice.
But on that day, he did the right thing. America did the right thing.
Okay, so again, we had just been engaged in missile strikes inside Iran because they had attacked Kuwait specifically. Now, Iran fired on Israel, and you could argue that there was there might be alignment with that plot to hit Trump, but it's a bunch of other people too. It's not just Trump.
This evening, I want to speak with you about an attack by the government of Iraq against the United States and the actions we have just taken to respond. This past April, the Kuwaiti government uncovered what they suspected was a car-bombing plot to assassinate former President George Bush while he was visiting Kuwait City.
Okay, so it was a direct attack while he was there overseas. Cool, okay.
The Kuwaiti authorities arrested 16 suspects.
As opposed to a general vague scheme that they want to do it to Trump. Okay, cool. So very distinct, direct response to an actual plot that got on its feet and was directed, but it was intercepted by the Kuwaitis. Cool.
Including 2 Iraqi nationals. Following those arrests, I ordered our own intelligence and law enforcement agencies to conduct a thorough and independent investigation.
Right, that would be the part we're in right now with the Iranian thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess Biden in a couple of months could argue maybe late October, maybe beginning of November, right before the election, he could order a strike on Iran for the plot against Trump. Maybe even after. Who knows?
And they verified it as true, and then the missiles started flying.
Ah, right. Gotcha. I see. Okay, Greg. Sorry. That's the part that we have missing. The verified as true part. So, as just that'd be kind of crucial, maybe.
Wow, that's leadership. What do we have right now? We got
an ongoing investigation. They'd be in the middle part of the other shit.
Joe. We got weird, awkward, on his way out, bitter, mad guy.
Wait, are you talking about you now?
Who I think in his heart of hearts.
Like on his way out, bitter, mad guy. Greg, I gotta say, that sounds like the title of your autobiography. I would write that down.
Wants harm to come to President Trump. I do.
Well, he's got total immunity thanks to Trump's Supreme Court justices. What's he waiting for? If he really does believe that, if you really think he does, why hasn't he done anything? Why do you got to wait for the Iranians to do something? He can do something and get away with it. According to Trump, shit. If Biden saw Trump as a threat because an adjudicated rapist and, overseeing the rights of women in the freest country in the world, it might be counter to the Constitution. I think in his official duties, he could do something awful to Trump, according to Trump. I'm not for it. Neither is he. But you make a strong case, Greg. I think you're a bloodthirsty idiot, but still.
He wouldn't be acting like this. The whole of government. What happened to President Trump twice? You got to leave.
1 1/4.
With the President Trump. He has to do it himself. He has to do everything himself, it seems like.
Yes, he does. Absolutely. He's got well, I guess except what Laura Loomer will do for him.
And what would he do as president?
golf a lot on his own properties and charge the taxpayer over retail for staff and Secret Service to be on his property.
He made it clear today.
If I was president and the candidate was under threat, any candidate, Republican or Democrat, if I were the president, I would inform the threatening country, in this case Iran, that if you do anything to harm this person, we are going to blow your largest cities and the country itself to smithereens. We're going to blow.
Wait, so this is genius. I don't know why I didn't think of it myself. So basically, anybody, Israel, who wants Iran destroyed and wants the president of the United States, if it was this guy, to engage in the largest single act of vengeful genocide in history, that all they'd have to do is make it look like Iran did it for a long enough time. You know what I mean? How long do you think it would be? 4 months? How long, would they need to look into it and believe it was the Iranians before they launch an attack, kill, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Iranians, and then find out later, oh, oops, it wasn't them after all. Quick trial. That's what we need. We need quick trial. Just immediately make the decision. And by the way, notice he gives himself the out.
Blow it to smithereens. You can't do that.
Yes, and blowing it to smithereens. You can't blow it to smithereens. You can't kill a bunch of people because of what members of their government did. I'm just saying.
And there would be no more threats.
Yeah, there would. Everybody's family who died in that would go, oh, dear God, the president of the United States is a genocidal madman. We must kill him and every member of his family that we could possibly find. And if it means my life, that's what it, like, you do realize we're talking about the Middle East, right? They've been known to hold a grudge.
That's leadership.
No, it isn't. It's buffoonery. It's psychopathy.
What do they call it? Peace through strength, right?
No. Mass murder is what they call it, stupid.
Textbook.
Yes. In the textbook, under mass murder, that qualifies.
Oh, that sounds extreme. It's actually...
It's nuts.
Actually not. We invaded Iraq in 2003, in part because George W. Bush was mad at Saddam Hussein about that plot against his dad.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's ridiculous. Yet another reason why the American people were against it. I don't give a fuck why he did it. It was wrong.
We already fired a bunch of Tomahawk missiles at the country, but W...
Yeah, but at ammo sites and military bases.
Made it clear that he harbored real resentment against Hussein for what he did, and many believe it was a component in his choice to go to war.
Right. And it was stupid.
There's no doubt it.
After all, he went after tried to kill my dad.
His hatred is mainly directed at us. There's no doubt he can't stand us. After all, this is the guy that tried to kill my dad at one time.
I mean, no weapons of mass destruction. We know they lied about weapons of mass destruction.
But, you got to give them points for killing hundreds of thousands of Iraqis because of a grudge from 1993. The fuck?
Maybe this was the real reason why we went in.
No, it wasn't. PNAC was the reason we went in. Project for a New American Century.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump, two times, and they don't even want to really beef up.
2 times what? 2 times what? Sorry, how how distanced do you have to be from the actual plot being carried out for it to qualify as an attempt? Do they have to be? Because there was a guy who was like within feet of Obama with a gun at one point, and he was like, "Holy shit, I'm concealed carry, and I've got a gun, and there's Obama, and fuck, and I just turned a corner and I have it, and I hope I'm not going to get shot or knocked down by them." You know, did that qualify? Right? Did that qualify as an attempt on Obama's life? If they'd have shot that dude because they just saw his gun, would that have qualified? Would that have been okay by you, Greg? And if you want to just talk about every time somebody planned to do it or laid in wait to do it and was discovered, Obama's got Trump dunked by hundreds.
Up the Secret Service, right? They resisted that. They resisted. And they didn't claim responsibility. Oh, this is somebody else's fault. Not us. Not us.
Yeah, the two local police who were watching the roof got called away because some idiot said, "There's a guy down here with a gun." And they went, "Okay, you guys look for him. We'll stay up here and watch our spot, because if we leave, this is one of the few places that's kind of the easiest target spot. So we'll just stay here and watch the roof." If they'd have done that, a shot wouldn't have been fired. Not from that guy anyways, not from Crooks.
Today, Donald Trump had a few things to say about the lead investigative agency into what happened, the FBI.
Yeah, by the way, the FBI is not standing outside their own building with a big, giant, fake FBI logo on the front of it in their helmets and gear left over from, I guess, 9/11.
First, they tried to sabotage his campaign.
First, you can't come up with another fucking graphic.
In 2016, they tried to...
No, they did not.
Sabotage his presidency.
No, they did not. He tried to sabotage his presidency, and everybody seemed to be helping him, like, pretend it was normal.
And they may have just sabotaged his re-election efforts in 2020, right? The Hunter Biden laptop, all that stuff.
Well, I'm sorry, what laptop? I've never seen it. So, I mean, I've literally seen more pictures of Greg Kelly's lazy boy recliner in his office than I've seen of the Hunter Biden laptop.
And what are they up to right now?
About 6'2".
Anyway, President Trump with some well-deserved criticism for the Bureau.
Yes, let's hear this. He's there to talk about jobs, and nothing says you care about jobs like standing in an idle factory run by a buddy of yours bitching about the FBI.
The FBI has been unable to open the 3 potentially foreign-based apps. And in the second case, the assassin.
Oh, you mean like Telegram? The one that, or Signal, the ones that Corey Lewandowski uses to talk to Tucker? You mean those websites? Well, yeah. If they could open them, your staff wouldn't use them anymore.
Had 6 cell phones in it.
Yeah, what? By the way, where is the Greg Kelly laptop? Huh? Why are we not allowed to see the Greg Kelly laptop? Where's the Greg Kelly laptop?
His car, yet the FBI has likewise been unable to penetrate their guard.
Have they tried, a slow hand?
Shouldn't be tough to do.
Really, it shouldn't? You could do it, right? Shit. This is probably a wrench back there. Go break into the encryption on Signal. Go for it.
They want to know, and I want to know, and the whole...
Yeah, everybody wants to know.
The whole country and maybe the world wants to know, who is he calling? Who is he calling?
Who is he calling? Ghostbusters? We don't think so.
Yeah. Who were these guys calling?
Obviously, whoever they were calling either gave them terrible advice, or even if they got good advice, they were too stupid to be able to implement it. Because, again, if these guys were in league with the deep state or some elite group or the Illuminati or whatever, I'm not afraid of those groups anymore, because apparently they fucking suck.
What's his name? Crooks. And the other guy, Ruth. Who were they in touch with? Guy Ruth had 6 cell phones. We want to know, what is the holdup? Check it out.
In the old days, the FBI and the DOJ used to capture people before anything happened. In current days, the upper echelon of the FBI is...
Hang on, sorry. In the old days, the FBI used to catch people before things happened? You mean when they were still innocent civilians?
All talk while they focus on the sitting president's political opponents. That's what they're doing. They spend so much time. We won the case in Florida.
No, you didn't.
It's all a big scam.
No, it's not.
It's all against a political opponent, me.
That's your defense, Greg? That's the clip you pulled. That's what you pulled to, like, I mean, I can see it in your face. You actually think this is a sound argument because you're a silly little man.
You can't argue with him, can you? Huh?
Yes, I can. I do it all the time, and it's not even hard. As a matter of fact, I got to tell you, Greg, it's getting kind of boring. Like, I'm not even impressed with his pushback anymore. I used to be, but that's because I believed some of the mythology maybe initially because I had no particular reason not to believe it, right? But now I know better, and I'm like, he's just talking out of his ass. Like, keep in mind, this is the guy who says that POWs aren't heroes and wants everybody to believe he signed the VA Choice Act of 2014. See where I'm going with this?
Director Ray, the rest of you guys, there's no arguing with this. He's got...
Sorry, Director Ray, you mean the guy he put in the job after he took Comey out because Comey was getting too close to him and wouldn't run interference until Barr got in?
Gotcha. He's got you.
Oh, he's gotcha. I gotcha. Well, I mean, he put him in there, so sure.
All right. Next.
I don't know why he thinks that's a defense, but it's adorable.
They must get Apple to open these foreign apps, and they must get Apple to likewise open the 6 phones from the second lunatic, who's a lunatic, and open them immediately because...
Wait a minute. You think Apple can open Android phones, or that they can break into the privacy of any app on the store? Do you really think that any of your staff would use Signal or Telegram or any of these sites, whatever the newest one is, if Apple could break into any encryption or privacy in an app sold on their store? Really? Oh my gosh, Jan, thank you so much. And Canadian too, so it's even nicer.
We have a lot at stake, whether it's me or any other former president. They break into apps all the time.
No, they don't.
They had no problem breaking into the apps of the J6 hostages.
They didn't have to. These assholes filmed themselves on Facebook. All right. The other thing, too, is, and you can ask Dan Bongholio himself, because I'm sure he'll take your fucking phone call. Ask him why he used the demo model of encryption on Parler when they were launching that service that allowed anybody, somebody just, I don't know who broke into it, but they literally, it was like the largest social media hack in history. I want to say it was 70 terabytes of information that they took from that site, and it had, not only because of the design of the site, not only did it have the pictures and videos these assholes took on January 6th of themselves committing fucking crimes, but they were direct copies. They were file-to-file copies instead of, if you put a picture on Instagram, it's got all new metadata because of when it was uploaded, but it doesn't have the location data of the picture that's on your fucking phone, right? Yeah. Bongholio's site was a direct transfer. So if you uploaded a picture, you just copied it to their hard drive and they displayed it. So it had the same fucking metadata that it had on your phone. So they were able to track all these motherfuckers. Why do you think they're getting 20 years instead of 3 or 5? Because they fucking filmed themselves.
They broke into those apps. And
no, they didn't. They didn't have to. These assholes think, oh my God, the Jan 6ers thought they were going to win. So they filmed themselves doing all this shit. You fucking moron. They didn't have to break into it. They posted it on their Instagram, on their own Facebook pages. They're like, here we are, we're about to shoot Nancy Pelosi. We broke in. I was the first one through the window. Go Patriots. And then filmed themselves kicking cops. And then other people filmed them. It was all, Jesus Christ. One of the reasons why there was so much evidence wasn't because they had to break into stuff or decrypt anything. It's because there was just an orgy of evidence from these motherfuckers. They were filming it from every angle. They had professional photographers there. A couple of the people who were there filming it were like, I was just there as a journalist. Like, no, you weren't, motherfucker. You were working to document the new American 1776 movement. You were a propagandist for the attack. That's not the same thing as like, I got swept up in the crowd, started filming with my phone. You came with the group that was wearing body armor and fucking helmets and all that shit and had bear spray and, you know, all the shit you just bring to a rally whenever you go. Right? Because none of them were planning this. We're just, I got caught up. I got caught up in body armor and a fucking military helmet with a GoPro on the top of it and had a fucking flagpole with a sharpened spear on the top of it. You know, I got caught up in that for days and weeks beforehand. The fuck out of here.
And they could be Iran-based. They could also be something else.
Yes, they could be aliens. They could be grays. We don't know. Trump getting probed is probably wishful thinking on his part, but
we'll never know until they're open.
That is amazing. You know, the FBI, the federal government, more like energized by January 6th than this assassination attempt.
Okay, again, asshole. They have the GoPro footage of this fucking idiot in Florida, right? They have the writings of these people. They have the dude's fucking book. What do you mean? They just had more. I mean, again, there's so much fucking video of the Jan 6ers.
2 assassination attempts. And to put a cherry on the horrible ice cream sundae.
Greg, I love your analogies almost as much as I love picturing you miserable on the bus ride home.
What does the government do? They go out of their way to find a Trump hater to investigate the assassination. That guy right there is Jeff Veltri, head of the Miami office. He's in charge of the investigation into the assassination, and he is a Trump hater. He was posting this stuff on Facebook, big time, all over the place.
Did you just burp on us? Hold on. Did you guys hear that from Greg?
Posting this stuff on Facebook, big time, all over the place.
What was that noise? Ew. I don't even know that was a burp. It was just like air trapped in his throat and he turned his neck and it squoze out through his second esophagus. Ugh.
Erase those comments because...
Washington Times. FBI agent had to erase public vitriol on Trump, Mar-a-Lago, and field office's jurisdiction. November 20th, 2023. So this is last year. Okay, and he did? And what was the public vitriol on Trump? Was he mad about the fact that Trump tried to overthrow the fucking government? Gee,
as well, that would look bad for the Bureau. But he still gets to... So Donald Trump's skepticism about the FBI and...
Hey, fuck you. I got news for you. The FBI and law enforcement all over the place, and you should fucking know this, Greg, you piece of shit, constantly has to deal with people they know are guilty or people that they know are guilty of other shit, but not the crime they're investigating, and they gotta let it go. Happens all the fucking time, and they don't like it, but they do it anyways, including this dude. He's going to try and find, every piece of information he can about the dude who tried to kill Trump. And if there was another, secondary plot supporting him or any of that shit, that guy's going to find it out, even if he fucking can't stand Trump. All you're telling us is that this is how you act. That if it was a Democrat or something, you would expect them to slow walk shit.
And the whole of government, quite frankly, I share it. When you have a president of the United States talking to his opponent like this in public, not only we see it, the federal employees see it. What kind of signal does that send?
I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star.
Look at, how about what's Trump with the butthole mouth while he's talking about the World War I cemetery going?
General, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Right, yeah. I'm sorry, how fucking delicate is Trump? Greg, seriously? So Trump was threatening the lives of little Marco and I guess Jeb Bush and everybody else he was mocking. Ted Cruz's fucking wife.
So when you talk about that, talk like that, I think that language set up the assassination attempt to be.
All right. Nobody shoots somebody for talking shit. The guy, it's in his fucking book. He voted for Trump, and then he was mad at Trump for getting out of the Iran deal because he had no replacement for it. It's in the fucking book. He's a disgruntled Trump voter who now supports Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy. Fuck you, dude. This has nothing to do with Joe Biden's attitude about any of this shit. Like, why aren't you like Nikki Haley was actually running against Trump in his own fucking party?
Begin with, right? And it tells the government to, well, if you want to do something bad to this guy, he's not going to be upset. Look, there's a...
Dude, why would he even have to mess around with it? Again, thanks to Trump, he has total immunity. If he wanted him gone, he could be gone. He doesn't have to tap dance around it. He doesn't have to hope some dipshit takes a pot shot while he's golfing at his shithole golf course south of the airport. Is it north of the airport? I don't know. The map looks like it's south of the airport. But either way.
A great big new Senate report on the assassination attempt in Butler. All right? It's fascinating stuff what they came up with.
Greg has not read it. Just saying.
Go through it when we come back. Hey, one thing, Crooks, the shooter in Butler, he got his drone to work that day, but the Secret Service, the federal government, couldn't figure it out.
What? Wait a minute. Couldn't figure what out? Hang on.
Secret Service, the federal government, couldn't figure it out.
All right, and this is where the clip ends. He ends the clip there, so I can't tell you what the fuck he's talking about. But Crooks flew a drone over the area. Should have been a red flag. I agree. But the federal government, it wasn't like they were confused and didn't know how a fucking drone worked. They run drones over the area. The Secret Service had drones looking around the area. Just silly. Sometimes you just gotta let yourself enjoy the discomfort.